month, yeah, so this month of August, what careers, well, as in what steps have you taken in your career, and where do you think you're at? Are you close? Are you anywhere around where you want to be this month?
Okay, I think before we started August, I drafted a plan in July, and from my record, because I did a review yesterday, I think I was able to achieve 60 as against the 100 I planned for. I was able to achieve 60%.
Share a bit of what you were able to achieve and the ones that you were not able to achieve, and what they call it is what your catch-up plan is.
Oh, okay. Now, I try to grow my database, customer database. So, on that aspect, the challenges I faced were people complaining on low income and some other financial challenges. So, I have to go back to my board to look out for opportunities that will onboard other people, irrespective of the financial capability. So then another one is product knowledge. I feel most of my clients don't really have full details on what they're into. So I have to look for alternative to reach out to them, giving layman terms. So they don't say, okay, I've heard about this, but don't know it. So those are the things that I'm going to work on. That's the finance aspect and easier way to reach out to my clients. So those are the two major challenges I faced in this month of
Okay, so
August.
just for the benefit of myself and anyone else that doesn't know what you do, what do you do?
Okay, now I'm an educator and I also work in a financial institution. So I work with Parallels Bank.
Okay. So
Mhm.
the
Then,
education bit, you do it outside of the school, or how does that work?
okay, the education I do based on private teaching.
Okay, so what?
I had to put school teaching on hold this year. I think I stopped school early January. Yes, I had to stop. So I just had to do personal teaching.
Okay, so what informed your decision to stop teaching in a formal institution in a school?
Okay.
What's in
Mm. Now, my long time in school, that I think over 10 years now, I noticed something. Now, the way students assimilate differs, and according to school curriculum, between the first week and the 10th week, they want every child to be on the same learning phase. And it's really not possible because every child has different way of assimilating. So I said, okay, if I want these kids to have more positive impact in their academics, uh, we need to create more time. And due to the school curriculum and everything on board, that time cannot be gotten because for every 40 or 35 minutes allocated to a subject, the next time is given to another. So I was like, okay, I think I reached out to some of the staff, those on the board of directors. I'm like, okay, is there any possibility whereby I can give this student extra classes after school? They said it's not possible because most of the parents, once it's before like 5, 10 minutes before close of the day, they're already there to pick their words to take them back home. So that the only way I can do that is to reach out to them for personal lessons. I said, okay, if that's the only option, I think I will go with that because it's one way I can understand if that child is really understanding what he's being taught or she's being taught in class. Now, when you ask the general question, do you understand? Everybody says yes. But by the time you carry out a test on their knowledge, you find out that many of the things you've said were not really understood. They just
Mhm.
have to say yes, so that uncle will leave the class so they can have their playtime and the rest. So that's why I said, okay, let me see how personal training between February and December will look like for these kids. So that is what I'm working on. So by December, I will now evaluate if I should continue home tutoring alone or I should go back into school sector to continue my normal class teaching.
Okay, so it sounds like the job in the financial institution is just a stopgap measure, just maybe for the money or something. And
Yeah,
where does that part?
no, that one is just, students are always in school during the day. So instead of just staying at home doing nothing, let me just do this one to buy time.
Okay, sounds very reasonable. So, uh, how does it work for you financially? As in, are you able to meet up with your needs with this your arrangement? How are you able to? Uh, yes, I know there's the issue of passion. You're passionate about what you do,
Yeah.
but there are still bills to pay. So how do you balance passion with paying bills?
Okay, it's a good one. I like the question. Now, my work environment is within, so I spend less transporting myself from my home to my place of work. So it's
Okay.
already something I draft. So they're just within the same environment. So that's just the advantage I have here.
Okay. But there are still other bills like house rent,
Yeah.
uh,
Okay.
other
Yeah.
power bills, food. You want to
And
buy clothes. You're not going to
another
manage it.
other expenses, I understand you, man. Then for the house rent, I think house rent for this year has been covered.
So where
So the only little one I know that still I still face is food aspect and transport. Due to the change in fuel price, the price varies. What you enter in the morning is not what you will enter when you're coming back from work. So those are the aspects I still face little challenges on. Because most time I say, okay, like I think yesterday I went to the market, I went to price something. I wanted to get rice. Yeah. I was surprised. The last one I bought, because the food stuff I bought finished last week, I noticed that there has been an increase in everything. Everything. I was like, what happened? And they were explaining no normal Nigerian story. So I said, okay. So I had to go back to my board and say, okay, oh, we need to add more money for food stuff. Because I can see that a lot is happening. So just that major challenge now is just on my food. So I'm still trying to figure out how I'll budget for next month so I don't face any challenges with food.
Okay, so I think Sarah is here. Welcome, Sarah. Sarah, you can unmute. It's an interactive session. We're having conversations about our career goals, what we planned for, what we achieved, and how we plan to address the shortfall. So Chimezie was just rounding up. He introduced himself. He's an educator, and but right now he doesn't work in a school anymore full time, but he does the education thing after school. But he also works in a financial institution during the day. So I was at the point where I was asking him how the budget is balancing, because yes, there's the one place of passion, but then there's the other place of sorting out bills, as in adults pay bills. So while we love the passion, we also need to we need to also ask ourselves, how are we coping with bills? Chimezie, are you done? Can Sarah go, or is there anything
Yeah,
more you want?
no, Sarah can go. She has the floor.
Sarah, welcome. So Sarah, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I'm in a public bus now. I'll need to alight in few minutes, then I can say what I have to say. Apologies.
All right, I'll just finish off. I guess Chimezie, I guess you don't have anything more to add, so I'll just go while Sarah gets ready. So for
Okay,
me,
man.
I'm an engineer. I have a day job as an asset integrity engineer, but the way I work is that I have time off. So I work for I'm it used to be 2 weeks, 14. I was doing 14 days rotation on and 14 days rotation off work. So I've changed roles now, so I'm going to have to be doing 28, 28. So for me, let me go first with my career goals for this month. So I'm preparing for an exam. I'm preparing for a certification exam It's an API certification exam. Thankfully, I got one of my colleagues was on my case. We agreed that I would have gone through the API standard at least once, and he actually threatened me that he was going to seize my phones if I didn't make it at the time we agreed. And I found it, yes, it was a bit drastic, but it was helpful because I found myself really trying to meet that target. And I went through it the first time. But I also wanted to go through it the second time, but because there was no target, I basically slipped on that. So I plan to get back on the wagon. So one thing I have done for myself is that I've broken my goals and everything I want to do into daily activities. And because I've discovered that I'm a multi-potentialite, I'm multi-passionate, so I have many things I want to do. So, and that's the people you call jack of all trades, master of none. But that's where we usually stop the adage. But they say master of none, but it's better than a master of one. So I realized that one of the challenges that multi-potentialites have is that we can easily lose focus. And I've been listening to someone who is also a multi-potentialite. And one thing she said that helps her is that she allocates days to do maybe two or three of the things she's passionate about. So that way, she knows that even if she dropped the ball last week, she still has the opportunity to pick the ball this week. So I've been trying to implement that. And I haven't been totally successful, but it has calendar day list of like 30 something or something things I want to do. I don't hit all of them every day, but because I'm thinking about them, I want to write. I'm setting up a community. I'm dealing with TTM professionals. So another thing that has been helpful for me is that God has been helping me to know the things I need to shut down, because I realized that I was spreading myself too thin. And so I wasn't getting the level of impact that I should have. So this month, I shut down one of my groups that I had created. And for me, that's a win. It may feel like a failure, but it's a win because now the people that I had in, like that group was a duplicate of like two or three other groups. So now I'm getting more streamlined. And I feel like I'm going to begin to get more effective. And then another thing that I'm quite happy about this month is that we are having this call, and that's thanks to WhatsApp, the opportunity to be able to schedule calls on WhatsApp. Otherwise, almost all of us would have forgotten what we agreed on if we did not schedule that call. And it was because the scheduled call came up. That's why I also remembered. Otherwise, I would have sent a reminder. And I like that. And that's one thing that I hope to carry forward into the next month. Um, I have a lot of things written down on paper, and I'm trusting God that I'll know the right time to implement each of them so that I don't spread myself too thin. I still believe that I'm not doing well on that. I'm not trending well on that, but I want to I want to juggle the balls such that no ball gets dropped. And of course, that means that it requires a lot of wisdom. Thank you. So, does anyone have any questions for me? Can I just ask them or type them? Do you have any questions? Any questions for me? Otherwise, we go to Sarah. Sarah, can you talk now? Sarah, can you talk? Okay, so I guess while we're waiting for Sarah, I'll ask Chimezie again. So Chimezie, what are your considerations on multiple stream income?
Okay, my order plan. Presently, I'm running an additional program. I want to improve my skills on data processing. So I understand that when you know how to manage data, it's how like I want to put it in a layman term where everybody understands what I'm trying to say. Okay, let me take for example a market woman that sells granite. Now, the granules are different sizes. There's the one they put in the small nylon. I think that goes for, is it 20 or 15 naira? Then there's the one they put in the bigger bottles, and the bottles have different sizes. Now, when you understand the importance of data and its management, it gives you an edge over bigger companies. So you're able to come in and say, okay, this is how you should manage your flow, and you're able to put them through. So I am presently running a course on that, on data management, and I think by February next year, I should be done with it. So it's another way of generating more income. Then also, I have passion for good pictures. So I'm also having a graphic class. There's someone that takes me that on weekends. I do that online also on weekends. So I spend evening part of my Saturdays learning graphic designs. So those are the other things I just want to work on. So I feel if I can do the graphic designs, it's also another way of generating more income, because every day there's always something to celebrate that requires adverts. So when someone sees the advert, I say, okay, oh, who made this design for you? And so it's so and so it's another way to say, okay, somebody referred me to you and I love what you did. Can you help me do something like that? So it's what I'm planning on. So I believe by December I should have a stronger hand on that, because there are lots and lots and lots and lots of tools I want to lay my hands on for my graphic designs.
Okay, well done. I wish you the best with that. I wish
Thank
you
you.
the best. Another question that comes to mind is that everything that you said so far for now is still not generating income as of now. But the bills are not going to wait till December. The bills will not wait till February next year. So are you considering any money-making opportunities that you can get involved in immediately with nearly no no startup no capital, so that at least the bills can be sorted? What are you thinking about?
Wow, that's actually a very good question. For now, I've not really laid hands on anything I can do for now. But on last week Saturday, I took a tour around my environment. I was trying to look for a need that I can meet. So I noticed that there are some basic needs that people have to go distance to get. So I'm still trying to see if I can just go into that and let me see the outcome of it. So I'll still make my findings again on Saturday. Again, I should be free on Saturday. So by Saturday, I would know if it's something I can do. So I can generate money on that aspect also.
Okay, thank you very much, Chimeze.
Welcome.
Sarah, thank you. Sarah, can you speak at this point?
Yes, I can talk now, but there are going to be a lot of interference because I'm on the road. I'm not on the bus, but I can still talk to an extent.
Okay, you can go ahead, please.
Okay, so what am I talking about?
Okay, so your career, what career goals did you set for August? Did you achieve them? Yes, which one did you quite happy about? And if not, which one did you not achieve that you're thinking rolling over to September?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. You were breaking in between. I only heard what career goals did I set for.
Yes, question one. Then question two, can you hear me?
Yes.
Question two is that which ones did you achieve?
Okay.
Question three, what did you not achieve in August that you're rolling over to September?
Okay. Okay. So good evening, everybody. My name is Sarah, and I manage a dental clinic.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, Sarah.
Thank you. Okay, so career wise, I was actually meant to, I'm going to answer every question just together. So I was actually meant to go for a professional course this month, and I started working towards it to July, August. But unfortunately, I can't do the course again. Not because I don't want to, but because I was pressed for time, and I also planned on taking the exam during my leave, which wasn't approved yet. So I'm moving into December. And why I'm taking this professional exam is because I would like to switch my career, because what I'm doing is actually not what I want to do. It's not like
So
it's not my passion, it's not what I want to do, but it's just something that I have to do to get my bills paid.
what do you want to do? What is the one you prefer to do?
Okay, I'd rather I be in a communication expert, or I work I work in a media house, preferably whether a print media or whether a print media or a visual media, either of the two. That's what I really like to do. I want to talk. I want to be like an on-air personality. Although I have a certification in that. Uh, I've done the basic one. I've done the advanced one, and I think I just have one left to go. Unfortunately, I'm unable to secure a job in that industry. So that is why I'm currently doing what I am doing now.
Okay. Chimeze, do you have any questions for Sarah?
Let me write my question down. I'll write it down.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So so the job you have, does it really cover all of the bills, or is it just how are you coping with this increase in everything? How are
I'm
you
actually,
coping?
and I would have been okay with it initially before this increment in price in transportation and everything. Because but I beginning to have I'm beginning to have a think of a change of mind and attitude towards my job, which I do no longer find interesting, because number one, there was a breach of agreement. What I was told I was going to get paid is not what I'm collecting. After my confirmation, there was still no increment. And the reason I went to this job was because of the salary attractiveness, which I am not getting yet. It pays my bills, but not as I want it to. Because in all, I still have to be grateful to God for what I have now. And one thing I really like about the job I'm doing now is that it affords me a lot of time. Like I have a lot of free time, and most times I really do not know what to do about my time, because I have a lot of free time. If at all I want to really work for the month, I think it's just like for some days and then I'm done.
Okay. Because I started talking about me working for some days and then being done. And so okay, so let me ask let me ask Chimezi's question. How do you keep going? I know how it works, how it feels working in a field you have little passion for as against what you long for. So I guess that's for Sarah, right, Chimezi? That's a question for Sarah, I guess, right?
Was that question for me?
Yes, so it's
Okay,
a
let me
question for
keep
you.
going. I know how it feels working in a field you have little passion for, as against what you long for. Okay. Okay, so what keeps me going actually is that let me just say what keeps me going is the hope that I am called for greater things and I'm still going to achieve that greater thing. Number one. Number two, what keeps me going again is, like I said initially, it pays my bill to an extent. as I can't stay idle now, since what I have a passion for is not working. So I still have to do what I have. I have to do what I have to get my bills paid and to also do some other things.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sarah.
Having something
Okay,
to
so
do.
okay, are you done?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay, Chidima joined us while Sarah was speaking. Welcome, Chidima. So Chidima, what we're doing on the
Hi.
call today, what we're doing to do on the call today, first of all, you introduce yourself and what you do. Then secondly, tell us what career goals you set for. Which ones did you
Okay.
achieve and quite proud of? Number four, which ones did you not achieve that you're rolling over to September? And afterwards, we ask you our questions.
Okay. Well, my name is Chidima and I'm a medical laboratory scientist. Currently, I work with SynLab. SynLab is a private medical diagnostic facility, and I'm in the Enugu office. I used to be in the Lagos office before I was moved to Enugu on transfer. So I've been in my career for 13 years. Was 13 years on the 5th of July this year. So and it's been a bumpy ride. I was a bench staff, and I got into junior management, and then I went back to the bench, which is where I am right now. So one of the career goals I set for myself was to upskill, to get to add a skill to my already existing skill set so that I can leverage on that and move up in my career. But so far it's been shaky because upskilling I requires that I do some trainings, and the trainings don't come cheap. And currently, finances are kind of tight, so I've been having very shaky starts with respect to the upskilling. So I'm moving that goal over to September and hoping that maybe all I've been doing, I'm making a case with management so that the company can give me extend me a facility so that I can be able to pay for some of these courses and do it. I'm hoping that if I make a strong case, they will see the need to extend that facility to me. So that's where I am at the moment.
All right, so I guess you've answered all of our questions. Does anybody have a question for Chidima? Sarah? Achimezie?
No, she already made the explanation, so I have no.
Thank you. Sarah, do you have any question for Chidima?
No, I don't. I don't have.
Thank you. So Chidima, I have a question for you. What plan do you have if your expectation for a facility does not go through in September? How do you plan to address that?
Well, if it doesn't go through, I'll just put a pause on the course for now until end of the year. I know that by end of the year, I will, come into some money. I'll get my 13th month, and when they pay the 13th month, I'll be able to pay for the course. There's another cohort for end of the year, so I'll just wait until then. But I really hope it comes because, part of the leverage I'm looking for is also leverage to move outwards, move out of the company. It was supposed to be a training I do very well in, and then use some of the projects I do on that training to, apply for roles outside the organization. So if I really want it. I really would love it to work out this September. I really would love it to, because if it does, it makes my exit plan look more plausible. But if
Okay,
it doesn't
that
work out, I'll
sounds
just wait for this. If it doesn't work out, I'll wait for the end of the year. The end of the year is my plan B, to get the course done.
okay. Sounds like a great plan. But what
Yeah.
reminds me of you is
Eh?
I know we are career related, but considering where we are and all of that, we just carry in it. I really want to make a strong case for multiple things income. Again, the bills are not going to be
Uh,
paid.
I can't really hear you. I can't really hear you.
Okay, who is playing? Who's playing with
I'm in my husband's car, so he's playing music. I'm trying to
Okay,
see
no,
if I can reduce the volume.
okay, no. So
Okay.
what
Yeah.
is that says the bills
Can you
are
hear
not
me
going
now?
to be paid. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you clearer now.
Okay,
It's a
so
bit muffled again.
the bills are not going to wait till December for you to get your 13,000. So what can we do at this point? Because I think that's the message I really want to leave us with, whether with this
Yeah.
training, and what can we do to improve our change of income?
For now, I'll just be taking advantage of the free courses that are on our various training platforms at work, and also it's some kind of upskilling for me as well. Only it's I'm skilling up in a linear direction now instead of in a vertical direction. So instead of now upscaling outwards, I'm still upscaling inwards. But it's training, and no knowledge is a waste, and all of them will come in handy at some point. So the option for training is something. It is something I've always done since I started working. So it's not something I want to let go of. So it's just that I wanted to focus more on trainings that will empower me to look for roles outside the organization. But since it's not looking plausible right now, I'll just maintain my focus and continue with the training that is happening in house, and take advantage of that, and learn as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But I know you had any last words, anything else you'd like to share before we end this thing?
Hello.
Any last words? Yeah, please go on.
Well, do I have any last words? I just want to say that I didn't get a lot, as in a lot of what Sarah had to say, but I can understand that where she is right now, she's currently disenchanted with a few things going on with her employment, and what the advice I can give her, which is the same advice a senior colleague once gave me, was, in the meantime, learn as much as you can while you're still there. Um, do the job as if you don't do it well today, you won't get another opportunity to do it well again. Just apply yourself, do the job, because for me, I will always say this: every experience counts. You might think it doesn't mean much, but take it from someone who has applied for roles within the country and outside the country. Most of the time, they don't really care about your certifications. The certification only reinforces that you know this. What they're actually looking for is your skill, is what you know how to do. And I've also found out that um, most of the time, what you might be called up to do where you work is not necessarily what you went to school to learn. I will give you an example. In school, nobody taught me how to start writing management reports, or how to interpret management numbers and make sense of it and be able to make managerial decisions. But I've had to do it for 10 years. I've had to do it for 10 whole years. So that's an example of why you need to apply yourself, learn as much as you can. Don't focus on only that role or what you said you have a passion for. It's good you know a lot, but I have a secret that you probably won't realize now. By the time you get to that thing you're passionate about, you find out that there are skills that you pick up from where you are right now that you will apply there. So keep it up and be patient. Everything good will come.
This joy, much joy turn at all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I
Thank you
really
so much.
appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. So, yeah, and we've kind of hit one of the things I was hoping we will achieve with the and it just reminds me of I was on a project. I engineering degree is in chemical engineering. And we were working on integrated system on the road. But one of the things that inspired of me was to follow up on action. So I basically put so I like for myself to do it because I felt like I needed to share. And I was beginning to say this other part of this called and that project became engineering manager on the project, and he wanted me to help him to see what the action items from different other reviews that we have technical people. But because he liked the way I would make sure that I follow up and I follow up on the follow up and send emails like to the office. And he was upset that he hasn't seen people that are that many people that are that passionate. So he requested for me to please stay on the project for me to do that work. The other reason why I brought that up is I know that I have 28 days actually learn doctor and follow up on action. And I get paid for doing that. And those were skills I picked up. The job that I was thinking about but my skills working doing the process taken away from me. Now I earn. And yesterday I was in a workshop, I did a workshop yesterday, and the fun thing is that when I'm sitting in that workshop, was the first person that gave me the opportunity to work qualified to pass the time. So all of these things may come together, but the attitude is the attitude is not it's not that you just take it on. It will show in the quality of what you are delivering. And because you are just excited to me. You never can tell when you're going to meet that person that you're partnering with. That you meet for the space to even say that you're partnering with about. So I would like to encourage you as you were paid the amount you want to be paid. And thank you so much for making me not be alone here. I'm grateful for that. We're rounding up. Thank you for joining. We now have Edith, but it's about time for us to round up. So, Edith, you probably please just we will. Edith.
I can hear my name, but that's fun. It's so noisy. I can't hear anything.
At this point, so that others can hear. Okay, Chidima is muted. So, Edith, you can unmute.
Okay.
All right. So we are just about to round up. We started at past 5 and all, and we just can you just introduce yourself? We've practically finished the session, but at least let's meet here.
Is there a format in the introduction?
Just introduce yourself and what you do. That's all.
Okay, my name is Chidima Edith Okoronkwo. I live in Abuja. A senior operations officer with Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria.
Okay, nice to meet you. So what the rest of us had done was to talk about our career goals for August, the ones we achieved and the ones that we were not able to achieve, and we plan to roll over to September, and then other people got to ask them questions. So you can still drop that in the group, Edith. You can drop that in the group, and I've opened the group. I closed the group for some time because nobody was saying anything. So I'll leave the group open. If people are not talking again, I'll close it again. Thank you for joining us.
All right.
Have a